Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, MJ. And you guys are some of my favorite people. I will tell you the first time my wife met you guys at the Birmingham office for the grand opening, I always believe you run into people in the first couple of minutes. You just go, man, I love those people. And that's what Debbie did. I don't think I ever told you guys this, but she stepped away. We got in the car, we headed home, and she said, that Neil and MJ, I like them. They're good people. She was around you guys for like 5 minutes, So I love you guys. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be asked to speak to you guys. And I hope, like Neil said, I hope that there's, if there's one or two little nuggets you grab from this, I did that kind of coming through. There was always one or two. And surprisingly in this business, those one or two little nuggets can literally earn you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 more a month. Right, Neil? I mean, one nugget. And then all of a sudden, the next month you get another nugget and it earns you another $5,000 just because of the way you operate and the way maybe it's the order of operation in the house, like we talked about, right, Neil? You change a little order of operation, all of a sudden it just changes your world, right? So I hope you can get a couple of things from this. And I talked to Neil earlier just kind of about this call and what we might want to talk about. And I'm going to, y'all forgive me early if I kind of go off on different tangents, but I'm writing things down tonight and I'm thinking, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. And I can talk for we can be on this call for 2 hours and we'll talk about things. But I'm trying to cover a few things that I think are really, really important for those of you that are not, that don't know me, because before the call, I don't know, I think I jumped on the call about 7 or 8 minutes early and I just kind of muted myself. So I heard a couple of you guys just chatting and talking and that kind. So I know we have some new people, right? And we have, I think a lot of new people you're in different stages of the pipeline, right? Some of you guys are in class. Some of you guys just finished class and you're about to start contracting. Maybe you just got in the field, wrote your first policy, or you just dialed the first time this past week or whatever. So you're in different areas. So I want to try to address some things that might help all of you. Okay. And so if you don't know a little bit about my background, I was a high school and college coach for a little bit, for about 18 years. So I coached football, track. I was a strength and conditioning coach for about 18 years. So like the sports and performance world after I finished college, that was my world. Like that's all I knew. That's all I thought I knew. That's all I thought I could ever learn. Right. And so I come from that background. I'm very competitive. We got a very competitive group. I know you guys have a very competitive group as well. And so a lot of my, I guess, training kind of comes across that way. It's because that's the only thing I've ever done is just kind of help people. I was very fortunate growing up that I had a bunch of great coaches and mentors around me that were positive and encouraging. And, when you're 5'9", 170 pounds, and you don't think you can do really anything, and you had people that would encourage you to say, no, you can go play, you can go do this, then it just raises your whole level of play. And it's the same in this business. Like, I just think if you can continue to stay around positive people that are going to encourage you, that are going to push you, but at the same time challenge you, right? Don't be somebody that's going to shy away from somebody challenging you, right? All they're trying to do is help you get better, which is going to consequently help you make more money for your family, okay? So accept challenges as a positive thing that's going to help you grow your business, okay? So I wrote up a couple of things. I thought, okay, what can we talk about that's going to encompass not only the new players out there that are just starting out, or maybe they're in class, and let's address some of the fears, some of the common fears that some of you guys have and how to overcome some of those things, okay? Here's a couple of them. All right, you have the fear of dialing. All right. Now, some of you are shaking your head saying, no, I don't have the fear of dialing. I mean, I'm on the phone all day long. I talk to my kids. I talk to family. I've been in sales. I spend time on the phone all the time. So that's not a fear of mine. Okay. I promise you it will be when you get your first set of leads. Number two, meeting with people, right? Meeting with strangers, going in a stranger's house. That's a fear for some of you. Or at least you get a little anxiety, like, oh, what's that going to be like? How's that going to look? What's that going to feel like? That kind of thing. And then you have this fear of not knowing what products you're going to write, right? There's more, but these are some things that could just consistently come up. And I want to address them because I want to make sure that you don't fall into the weeds or the trap of not going to work and not just, putting your boots on and saying, you know what, I'm going to go kick the door down and go break something. Let's just see what happens. And because the more accidents and the more mistakes you make, the more more chances that Neil and MJ and any of the other leaders have an opportunity to coach you. We can't coach you. We can't correct you if there's nothing to correct, right? Because if you haven't gone out and dialed and screwed that up and you hadn't met with people and screwed that up, there's nothing to coach, guys, because I don't know where you need coaching. I don't know where you messed up and where you're good, where you're not, where you need help, all those kind of things. So be that person that at the very beginning of this business, if I can encourage you to do anything, and that is just attack this thing like no other thing you've ever attacked in your life, okay? And don't wait until you have all the answers before you go kick a door down and go break something, okay? Just go break something, right? Break something, and we will help you figure it out, put the pieces back together, and consequently help you make more money, okay? But when you're dialing, okay, now I'm going to use some examples because I had a new agent that Monday was his first day ever to dial, okay? We tried to give him advice leading up to dialing, and that was everything from, hey, record yourself dialing, send it to your manager, send it to me, let me pick it apart, let me figure out what you don't need to say versus what you do need to say, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, he didn't do that, okay? I asked him, who have you been listening to? He couldn't really tell me that either. He's kind of all over the place there. And the third thing he said was, Gary, I'm not really worried about that because, I mean, I've been on the phone before. I'm not worried about dialing, okay? So what happened was, and I told him, I said, now look, you're going to sit in that desk across from me in my office, and we're going to dial together, all right? And so I can help you and listen to you and that kind of thing, and you can listen to me, all right? But I said at 8 o'clock now, I'm dialing, okay? So if you feel like you're being ignored, no, you're not being ignored. I'm just going to not stop pushing these buttons on my phone, okay? I'm going to push the buttons. I'm going to dial. If they don't answer, I'm going to hit the red button. I'm going to dial the next number, and I'll look up and I'll help you, okay? But I'm not going to stop dialing, okay? He's like, cool. So I start at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, he's kind of fumbling his leads around, and he's trying, he's getting ready to get ready, right? 15 minutes later, he's yet to dial because now he's going, well, now that I'm here, I'm not really sure what to say, what to do, so follow the directions of your leaders, guys, when it comes to dialing, okay? Do what they tell you to do. This is a different animal. I don't care how long you've been on the phone and how good you think you are. This is a different deal. Okay. And the worst thing, we don't want this to happen to you. We don't want you to rip through 50 leads and then find out later, oh, if Neil says, oh my gosh, that's what you've been saying? No wonder you got hung up 50 times. You need to take that out. You need to say this. So let's find out early before you burn through a bunch of leads, what you need to do, what you don't need to do so that you can have success. Okay. Let's talk about meeting with people. And by the way, on the dialing part, the way I kind of tricked myself into overcoming dialing, okay? And I did this in Atlanta one time when I was training, is I had somebody that was kind of the same, mindset. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I need to learn about all the products, Gary. I don't need to learn about the dialing part. I know how to do that. I said, okay, cool. I said, well, if you will do me a favor, and I had a lead, and he sat in the front row, and I gave him the lead. And I said, do me a favor, just call this guy right here and see if you can book an appointment for me for tomorrow, about 10 o'clock. Can you do that? And he took it and he hesitated and he looked at it and he was like, well, what do you mean? I said, just go ahead, just dial it, just dial it. There's the number and, just book me an appointment for tomorrow. Okay. Long story short, he couldn't. Like, he kept asking me questions. He kept fumbling around. 5 minutes goes by. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Just dial the phone. Right. Okay, so I was trying to make a point, right? He couldn't do it because he didn't know what to do. So here's how I tricked myself. And I said, let me ask you a question. And I pulled it up on my phone. I Googled the Home Depot. I said, here's Home Depot. It's right here in downtown. I said, can you call Home Depot and see if they sell pine straw, and 2, if they deliver, and how much it is if they deliver. Can you do that? He's like, sure. And he starts, I don't let him die. He starts to dial though. And I said, okay, you see my point. My point is, why didn't you have any problem calling this perfect stranger that works at Home Depot with questions I just gave you, right? Well, it's different. I'm telling you, it's different when you get a lead. So the way I trick myself into dialing when I'm brand new is act like the person that you're dialing is the Home Depot guy. Like, that's the guy that's selling the pine straw at Home Depot. It's the same guy. Okay. Just call him. And just say, hey, and then go through your script and book an appointment and go through. So when I started to realize, hey, that's the same guy that works at Home Depot. This is the guy that works at Verizon. This guy works down the street. I mean, these are all the people that I'm passing. And they turned into real people, and I just call them. Okay. So Meeting with people, that's another thing, right? That's a fear some people have. I kind of take the same approach. Look, these people need our help. I used to, when I had some anxiety, here's what I thought, because I went to my first couple homes, and on the way to Miss Mary's house, all right, now listen, I'm going to her house for insurance, but on the way to her house, I passed State Farm and Allstate and Aflac, right, Neil? Right, they're right down the street. They could walk down the corner to the State Farm if they wanted to get some insurance, okay? And they've been living there for 20 years, so they know it's sitting there, right? But they don't, because they're not comfortable walking into that building, sitting behind a desk in front of somebody in a suit and tie, and who's going to make them feel uncomfortable about how much they don't know about life insurance. Okay. So they would rather you come into their home where they feel safe and secure, and it's their, right, it's their place, and you educate them and help them and make them feel comfortable about what they're about to do. All right. So when I started realizing that, and this is middle America, this is who we're sitting with, guys. Okay, we're not sitting with millionaires. Millionaires got people who take care of their stuff, right? These people don't have people. You are their people, right? You're the person helping them with this problem or this solution, all right? So keep that in mind. Know who you're sitting with. Know who your market is as you're getting started. Okay, that will put some ease in your mind as far as getting started and that kind of thing. Last thing is knowing what products to write. I get this question 100 million times every time a new agent gets started, and they get overwhelmed because they keep hearing things like, we work for 20 different companies, and every one of those companies has 27 products, and we have all this stuff to offer. And you get off the podcast, you go, oh my gosh, I did the math. That's like 275 products. That's 20 companies. How the hell am I going to know all of that? There's no way I can do this business. Okay. So let me ease your mind a little bit there too. All the companies, all the products looks great on our portfolio. The fact that we do work for all those companies, we have all those products to offer people. The reality is, especially when you're starting now, okay, and whatever Neil and MJ tell you, that's what you need to do. But I'm just telling you kind of my forethought when I'm training other people. So I did this little breakdown of last year, 2020. I looked at our top 3 agents, okay, and there were 3 guys that did between $275,000 and $350,000 a year. Those are the top 3 agents in our agency. Okay. And I asked all 3 guys. Now, one of those guys was me, and then we James and Todd. So I asked them, I said, A, how many companies do you guys write? Okay. And both of them said there's 3. And then I said, how many products out of all those companies, how many products do you write? And they said 2. All right. It's either a term life product, or it's a whole life product. That's it. Okay. And my point in telling you that is, when you get started, there's really only a handful of companies that you're going to write 100% of everybody that you see. Okay. So 100% of who you're going to see, they're going to fit in one of those buckets, and you're going to put them in a place that's a heck of a lot better than they were before you walked into their house. Okay. And then as you get better and you make money with those 3 companies, those 2 products, and you make money, and then you want to get on a podcast, or you want to dig into some training about some other products, you want to dig into some training about some other companies, then by all means, go do that. You're independent. You're your own boss. Do what you want to do. Our job, all right, as your managers and as your mentors, if you want to call us that, whatever, is to help you make money and to help you learn the business. And we don't want to complicate it. We want to keep it simple. We don't want you guys to get in the weeds. And if we wanted you to get in the weeds, we would say study all 20 companies and study all the products that they have. And we'll see you in about 3 years when you know all those things. Okay. So we want you to make money fast. We want you to help people, help families. We want it to be the best product for the clients, but we also want it to be the best product for you in order to make a living for your family, because none of us are doing this because we needed another hobby, right? We're doing this because we want to change our lives and change the lives of others. So on that note, I was talking to Terry Herron earlier. And if you guys that don't know, Terry is on our team. Terry's, I think he's right at about $360,000 right now. At this point in the year, he wrote a little over 50,000 last month. He's almost 40,000 this month. And quite honestly, Terry Herron is one of the main reasons I got into this business. If you don't know Terry, Terry's a good old boy. He's as country as a turnip grain. Okay. And when I saw him training about 5 years ago at the front of the room, I looked around the room and I thought to myself, if that guy can make $300,000 a year, I'm going to be a millionaire. Right. And Terry and I laugh about this, and he knows we kind of joke about it, because Terry's just pretty no nonsense. And what you get is what you see is what you get with Terry. He's a super guy. He's probably got as big a heart as anybody I've ever been around. He's just a good guy. And so people ask me, well, what's the difference between Terry and everybody else on the team that's, maybe writing 5, 6, 7,000? And here's the honest truth. And Terry's a very simple person too, in terms of the companies and the products. Keeps it very simple. All right. The difference between Terry and everybody else is Terry just outworks everybody else. Okay. He just works harder than everybody else. And he's not smarter than everybody else. Matter of fact, he will tell you that there's probably 75% of the agents on our team are smarter than he is in terms of product knowledge. Okay. But if you haven't heard this saying, I want you to embed this in your head and remember that, because we don't want you to be real smart, broke people. Okay. Let me say that again. I'm not interested in helping you be really, really smart, broke people. We're interested in helping you make money if you'll work hard. Okay. We have some people on our team, extremely smart. They know all the products for all 20 companies. They're one of the best product knowledge people we got. They don't write a whole lot of insurance, okay, because they don't spend time on the part of the business that they need to spend time on. They're too busy studying and trying to learn everything they need to know. Don't do it, okay? When I was a strength and conditioning coach, we had one sign in the weight room. All right, there's one sign right when you walked in, and the sign said, "We don't value the things you say in here. We only value the things you do." All right, and here's my point: is when I'm hiring a new agent, or we come across somebody that wants to get in this business, I will tell you, all right, and if the shoe fits, then just listen. Somebody that comes in this business and the first thing they want to tell me is how hard they worked at their other job and they were the hardest worker, and they're not, they're not afraid of work, and they worked hard all their life, and they're just, they know how to work. That's usually a red flag, quite honestly. Okay, because their definition of work and my definition of work is just totally different things, but they think they're working hard. Okay, that's usually a red flag. The person that doesn't say a whole lot but listens and asks good questions, that's the guy I'm interested in, because he's not, trying to impress me with how hard he works, because I'm not interested in you saying how hard you work. Okay, I'm interested in watching to see how you work and if you work. All right, so go do it. Right, you've heard that saying, don't talk about it, just be about it. That's kind of what we're about too. Don't talk about it, just be about it. Just go do it. So that's a red flag. Just go work and just go outwork everybody else. And I love this saying, when you think you've done everything you can do, just remember this: you haven't. All right. Always remember that. If you will always think that I've not done enough, I can always do more, then you'll never stop challenging yourself to be a little bit better. Going to be a little bit better. And I like what MJ said earlier in this call, is you just want to get a little bit better, guys, this week than you did last week, this month than you did last month, depending on where you are in the pipeline. Just get a little bit better. If you're watching these podcasts and things and you're hearing all these, so-and-so wrote $100,000 in a month, and this person wrote $70,000 in a month, don't compare yourself to them. All right. Compare yourself to where you were last week, where you were last month, and improve on that and get a little bit better, and you'll get there. But don't try to put pressure on yourself to be like this person that you saw on a video or whatever. Get a little bit better. Write 3 more policies this month than you did last month. It's like MJ said, that's less than 1 a week. Everybody can do that. You can do that in your sleep. Okay. Here's how you do that. Let's talk about that for a second. We talk about creating small goals. Here's what I believe about goals. Everybody should have them. All right. Nothing wrong with having goals. Nothing wrong with writing them down. People put them on their mirrors. I think all that's great. All right. Do all that kind of stuff. Okay. The problem with goals for a lot of people, for most people, is they don't have plan. They don't have a plan to achieve the goal. They just have a goal. All right. Here's my point. All right. When I ask people to write their goals down, they just write things like, I want to write $300,000 next year. Okay. Or I want to make $100,000 in the first 6 months of this year. And those are great goals. Okay. And then when I say, okay, great. What's your plan to do that? You want to write $30,000 a month. How are you going to do that? And then they just look at me like, what do you mean? See, there's no plan. It's just words. It's just words on a page. Okay. So, you know, a goal with no plan, then that's called wishing. That's what that is. So you don't want to wish, you want to plan to achieve the goals that you're searching for. Okay. So whatever those goals are, guys, work backwards and get with your manager and say, look, I want to do this, so that they can challenge you with the question of, okay, if you're going to write $20,000 a month, what do you need to do that? How many leads do you think you need to get to write $5,000 a week? Well, I'm going to need this many. Great. How many dials or how many phone calls are you going to need to make? How many appointments are you going to need to make every week to write $5,000 a week? And they're going to say 30. You're going to need 30 appointments. So work backwards and make those big goals down to smaller goals where you go, okay, gotcha. So I need this many leads, I need this many appointments, and I'll write this much insurance. Okay. Don't just throw it out there on the wall and hope it sticks and just think, well, this thing doesn't work. It works. Okay. This program works. I promise you. There are thousands of agents around the country that are proving that it works, that have no experience, just like a lot of you guys. You got no experience. I didn't have any experience. I had no sales experience or anything like that. Okay. All I knew how to do was work really hard and be good with people. That's it. If you got those two characteristics, you'll do great. If you're missing one of those two characteristics, okay, you work really, really hard. You don't like people. This is not working for you. It's not going to work. Okay. Or you really like people. You just don't work hard. Not going to work for you. Got to go find something else to do. All right. So make sure you got those two things intact. All right. Before you get started. Writing 3 more policies a month. Here's the crazy thing. I love the challenge. Write 3 more policies a month. Okay, let's work backwards from there. All right. If I'm going to write 3 more policies a month, how many more appointments do I need to get to write 3 for the month? And I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe 10. If I had 10 more appointments, right, in September, 10 more appointments, I'm probably going to write 3 of them. If I had 10, maybe 15, right? So I need 15 more appointments. Okay, well, how do I get 15 more appointments? How many more leads do I need to buy to get 15 more appointments, right? Let your manager talk to you about that. So work there and then just do that. I think I figured it out. I think it was like, you know, if I buy 10 more leads a week, think about that, 10 leads a week in September, that's 40 leads total for the month that are extra, right? An extra 40 leads. And out of those 40 leads, you book 10, 15 appointments and you write 3, maybe 4. A couple of things are going to happen, right? Number 1, you're going to make more money. Number 2, you're going to come to the realization of, that wasn't real hard. I mean, all I did was get some more leads. I booked some more appointments. I wrote a couple more policies. I made $3 more thousand into my bank account. That's interesting. Why don't I get 80 leads next time and I'll make $6,000 or $7,000 because I'm going to be a little bit better. I'm going to get a little bit more comfortable and I'm going to make 7,000. And then it just continues to, the momentum will build from there, guys. And the agency, your group as a whole, will go up $100,000 in a month if everybody writes 3 more policies than they did the previous month. That's it. Okay. We're not saying you need to go out and write $10,000, $15,000 the very next month. No, write 3 more policies than you did last month. It'll change your life. I promise you. It'll change your business. It'll change your family's life, your bank account, and it'll just spark a fire that will generate more momentum for you moving forward. The guy I had in my office has no experience. He was a pilot, young guy. And this past Monday was his first day of dialing. He came in there and because he believes in being around other positive people that can help him grow. So we were dialing back and forth, and I was correcting things as he was dialing. Hey, don't say this, take that out, put this in. So we were just in. By the end of from about 8 to 1 o'clock, he booked a dozen appointments, 12 appointments, never dialed the phones ever before in his life. And he's a huge proponent. He understands the whole, just go break something and we'll fix it and see what happens. Because he said, Gary, if I would have waited until I knew everything about this aircraft, everything, before I got behind the wheel and started flying it, I'd still be studying. There's so much you need to know. He said, you know what they do in flight school? I mean, there is some education, some things you got to know. But he said, they put you behind the wheel and we take off. And then all of a sudden they hand me the controls. And then all of a sudden they say, pull back. And then they say, push this lever forward. And then they say, push this button. It's like he's saying they're giving us a little bit of lessons, but they threw us right in the fire. And then they taught us as we were flying. And then they said, hey, by the way, don't do that again. You do that, we're going to crash. So make sure you keep this, going this way, or you push this button instead of that one, or whatever. So my point is, don't wait to learn everything about the aircraft, guys, before you get behind the wheel. Get in, let your mentors and managers coach you up as you're in the home, as you're dialing the phone, as you're trying to pull up quotes on your phone. How does that work? All right. Let them coach you up on those things, but don't wait until you know every single thing about insurance before you get moving. Okay. Couple more things. Neil, am I okay on time?
Yeah, you're great. Hey, and Gary, just for your info,
yes,
there's 46 people on this call. If everybody and
sweet,
a lot of people on this call are still getting ready. They're in various stages of either COVID, post-COVID, getting contracted. And so if we just all wrote 3 additional policies, to your point, that's 165,000 in volume, and that would break somebody as a VP that's not currently a VP. And that's what we all constantly want to do. Plus, it would put a bunch of money, like Micah goes out today and sells $5,540 worth of product.
All right.
And he gets lucky, Micah, and only has 3 appointments. So you got to like that.
Yeah.
So that to your point, that's the numbers.
And that's $146,000. Is that what it was? 146 if everybody wrote 3?
It was 165.
165.
165,000. Okay.
Yeah. So, gosh, that would mean if a lot of those people didn't write 3, you'd still hit 100,000, right? So, I mean, but still, that's something. But with this challenge of 3, you're going to have guys like Micah. They're going to write 6 or 7 more than they did last month, right? And you'll have some that'll write 4 or 5, and you'll have some that write 2 or whatever. But the challenge is 3, and you have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, why can I not do that? Right? I mean, you got guys on your team that did it in a day, right? And I can't do it in 30 days.
Well, it's just a confidence thing, right? They're not confident yet.
Right. And there's only one way I know to get confident. I mean, and I'll just throw this analogy in, but this is as a player, when you're standing on the sidelines and you're a young guy or a freshman or whatever, you're standing on the sideline where it's safe, right? There's nobody hitting you over there, right? It's safe. And then all of a sudden somebody gets hurt and the coach grabs you by the jersey and throws you in the game. All right. You talk about you better get confidence pretty quick, right? and you do. You get confidence really quickly because you have to. And the only way to get that is you got to get thrown into the game, guys. And you will come out of that first house, I promise you. And most of you will not sell it. Okay. So in my mind, it's almost easier for us to tell you that, right, Neil? Like, go get in the house. You're not going to sell it. Get in the car and think about what you did. Call your manager and say, hey, this is what I said. What should I do next time? This and that. And then there's a handful of you that will. You'll go in there and you'll just go, that was it. And somebody buys a policy from you. Okay. But go get in the fire. Don't wait until, you're waiting for something to fall out of the sky for things to happen. Okay. You got to go make it happen. Things aren't just going to happen. Okay. So a couple other things, and I just want to wrap it up. Neil, I don't even have a clock in front of me, brother. I'm just trying to figure out how much time I got, or what time is it?
We're doing fine. Just
we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things, because I know you got a big group. There's a lot of people on this call. Okay. I would ask you guys to do this as a team. Number one, I know you guys have heard people talk about having a running buddy, right? Everybody should have 1, 2, maybe 3 running buddies that when you're on the road, you feel comfortable to reach out to for questions and answers. All right. Let me just advise you here, right? If you're going to have a running buddy, that running buddy better be positive. Better be. Okay. If there's somebody in your brain right now that you're thinking, oh, so-and-so would be cool as a running buddy, I could call him. If he's negative, he's not the guy. She's not the girl. All right. I want somebody that's going to help you, build you up, lift you up when things, because this can be a lonely job. You're out there by yourself. I need somebody that's going to build me up, be positive, and encourage me along the way. All right. You need 1, 2, 3 of those people in your corner. All right. You need somebody that's writing business. Okay. A significant amount of it. All right. In our minds, people that are writing $20,000 a month, they have earned the right to teach and coach. Okay. So don't head fake yourself by trying to coach people if you're not doing it. Does that make sense? All right. So be humble enough to know, look, I got work to do. I got things that I need to do. I need to get my plate straight first before I can advise or coach or teach or anything like that. And you dang sure don't ever need to be negative with anybody in your group, ever. Okay. This job can be hard. It needs to be surrounded by nothing but people that are going to be positive. That doesn't mean they're not going to tell you the truth. There's a difference now. Okay. People want to hear the truth, but you can do it in a way where it's positive, it's encouraging, and it'll make people better when you challenge them. And I've got some I wrote down. I want to make sure I cover the positive. I think what I was going to wrap up with is to say, when you're being positive, when you're coaching other people, just remember this, like, be the agent that you want your agents to be, right? And we've talked about that before. Be the agent that you want your agents to be. All right. So, if you want your agent, then because here's the bottom line. That's why I love Neil and MJ. And I know that's why you guys love them as well. Okay. But when I was coaching, the players that you're coaching, I was a secondary coach. I coached the defensive backs. Okay. You can't help it. They're going to take on your personality. I don't care what you say, what you do, I don't want to be a role model. You hear people say that. It doesn't matter. Too late. Okay. You're a role model. It's either positive or negative, but they're going to emulate the things you do. They're going to emulate the things you say. They're going to act the way you act. If you're not professional, guess what? They're not going to be professional. If you complain, guess what your agents are going to do? They're going to complain. If you're negative, they're going to be negative because they're going to go, oh, well, I guess it's okay to be negative. Neil's negative, so I guess that's the way we do it around here. Okay. So remember that. And so when they're emulating and doing the same behaviors that you're doing, you got nobody to blame but yourself. So be the agent you want your agents to be all the time. All right. I want to wrap up with this one reminder. Neil, I wanted to mention that new agent Q&A before we turn it back over to you. And then if you guys have questions, I'm open. You can unmute your phones here in a second and just ask away. But we have a new agent Q&A every Monday night, 8:00 Central. And Neil has the information. He'll send it out to you guys, and feel free to jump on. Here's the quick synopsis on what that call is. It is strictly for new people in the pipeline. If you're in class, if you're in contracting, maybe first week in the field, just got your leads, you're new. Okay. And you got 100 million questions that you just want answers to and things like that. That's why we built this call. There's not going to be any top agents on this call, no top producers. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm getting on this call and there's going to be 18 producers that wrote $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month. I don't want to ask what I think is a stupid question. So I'm just not going to. No, everybody on this call is brand new. None of them know anything. Okay. I say that facetiously. Some of them know, depending on where they are, but they're brand new. Okay. So the questions that you're going to ask are the same questions that we've heard over and over and over. None of them are dumb questions. I guarantee you, 100% of the questions I asked, 100% of them. I asked all the same questions. That's why I know the answers now, because I asked the questions, right? But when I first started asking questions, here's what I did know. I knew I don't really care if anybody else knows the answer. I don't know the answer, right? And I'm trying to do the best thing I can for my family and make money and pay my bills and all that. So if I don't know the answer, I'm asking the question, all right? So because I need to make sure that I have the answers before I get off this call. So just know it is what we call a safe place for new agents to ask as many questions as they want. I don't care. You can ask about, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Okay. If we don't know the answers, we'll find the answers, but we always have a top producer hosting the call, somebody that's experienced, okay, that can kind of guide you and give you the right answers that you need. I would encourage that you get on it every Monday night, 8:00. Neil will give you the info. And for some people, they can just listen. If 20 questions are asked and you don't ask any questions, it's okay. Right? If you just don't feel comfortable. But the good thing is you're going to get answers to those 20 questions, right? That you probably were going to ask anyway. But you're going to get those answers. So feel free to jump on that. We have a different top producer every week that does it. And I think it's going to be very helpful for you, at least make you feel more comfortable about where you are in the business. So Neil, I hope I didn't go over, and I'll throw it back over to you and we'll answer any questions if anybody has anything.
Yeah, it's
sorry
perfect.
for rambling.
No, listen, it's genius because it's so simple, and it's difficult to take something and distill it down into its simplest forms, right? Most people make it more complicated than it needs to be. So
yeah, that's right.
Quick comment. If anybody, I've got the information. Don't put your email on the chat, because as soon as we exit out of this, we lose those emails. Just email me at the link, and I'll send you this recording, and I'll also send you that call-in for Monday night. And if anybody has let's field a couple of questions. I know on the East Coast it's 10 minutes to 10. So we got some guys that are a little bit older like me, and it gets past their bedtime, they get a little grumpy.
Yeah.
But if you have a question for Gary, just unmute yourself and fire away.
Hey, Gary, it's Kendall here.
Hey, Kendall.
Hey, I'm brand new at this. I've been studying for a little over a month. However, I took both exams 2 weeks ago. I passed one, failed one. I passed the health but failed the life. What I'm having an issue with is trying to understand how the best way the policies would work. How to identify what policy works best for, which type of family I'm dealing with.
Yeah. So, and I know Neil and MJ will cover this stuff with you too, but when you do pass your test and you get licensed, all right, they're going to then provide you with a lot of that information. Okay. A lot of the training, a lot of the boot camp, a lot of the, hey, here's step 1, step 2, step 3 to how you do that. Okay. So I think the most important thing is, no need to really start that until we get licensed, right? And then until we pass the test. So just kind of, I love the eagerness though. I love the fact that you're like, hey, I'm going to pass it. All right. So you're thinking ahead, like, let's go ahead and I'm going to pass it. Let me just go ahead and start thinking about how I'm going to know what to write and those kind of things. And, Neil, MJ, keep this thing really, really simple, especially early. And like I said earlier in the thing, at the beginning, you're going to probably write about 2 products. That's it. Okay. We also have a cheat sheet. It's called the final expense grid that we created. It's kind of a cheat sheet. It's going to say, hey, if they have diabetes, this company will say yes to them. This company will say no. This company will say yes. All right. It'll say approve, decline, whatever. It's kind of a cheat sheet. I still carry it in the house because sometimes I have health conditions that I'm not sure of, and I'll look and I'll go, oh, okay, I can write them an Americo product, and we'll just write them this policy. Boom, done. Okay. So you don't have to fiddle through 27 different options or anything like that. You're going to have 2 options, and they're getting one of them.
Yeah.
You follow me? Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Good question though.
I give them credit because I walked out of the health portion and I said, I flunked that. The guy goes, you think you flunked it? I said, yeah, it was so hard. It was like a geometry test. I didn't recognize one question. He goes, "What's your name?" I told him. He goes, "You passed." I was like,
Yeah.
"Thank you, Jesus." I didn't think I did. So
Well, I
anyway,
thought I passed the life and bombed the health, but passed the health and bombed the life.
well, listen, if you can
On the
pass the
life, it
health,
was nothing. Yeah,
you'll get through
it
that
did.
life.
I did not recognize anything on the life portion of the test.
Question for you. Question for you.
Yes, sir.
I know you're part of Mike Schroes and Neil Brown. You're kind of all the same system. So, but I enjoyed your talk. Thank you very much for the nuggets and everything you said. But is there a, maybe a YouTube video or someone that you may be listening to? I'm fairly new. I'm trying to get going. I mean, I'm trying to hit 10,000, and I was hoping anyway, is there someone that you may like that you use for a in-home product or a dial session? Is there any particular person that you've just been wearing out?
Well, so Neil's got a great in-home on the FFL Heritage website. That's a good one too. There's a couple of them out there. Golly. The ones that I really, number one, they need to be a top producer. Okay. Always remember that. If you're not sure if they are or they're not, but they got a video out there, ask Neil, he'll know. All right. But there's a couple of top producers that I listen to when it comes to podcasts and things like that. Of course, I'll listen to Andrew Taylor has a great podcast. Grady Polson has one. Paul McLean, Matt Smith. Those four I know. Mark Mead. I would say those five people, when they're talking really about anything, I'm listening. And I've kind of narrowed it down to like those five, right? Mark Mead, Paul McLean, Grady Polson, Andrew Taylor, and Matt Smith. They all are very good. They're all top producers. They're Hall of Fame producers, integrity partners, all the above. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of those. Really, same with the dialing. Matt Smith does a great video on dialing, overcoming objections, things like that. I like sharing that with our team as well because he was a top producer in All of Family First Life, the all-time top producer, right, in Family First Life. So he's definitely a great one to mimic and kind of listen to as well. I think one of the things when dialing is make sure that, because there's so much out there, find a couple top producers and then find the one that you resonate with and then zero in on that guy, okay, or that girl or whatever that is. Because if you're not careful, you're listening to 6 different people. I've heard it happen. They start doing a phone script and they incorporate all 6 people in their phone script and it's a dang train wreck. It's awful, all right, because they're just trying to do too much. Keep it simple, book the appointment, and understand that. I was telling the new agent in our office today, understand the purpose of the call, okay? Very simple. The purpose of the call is to book the appointment. That's it, okay? Purpose of the call is not to start doing underwriting on the phone, asking them health questions, asking them about prescription meds, all this kind of stuff, because all that's going to do is A, it's going to make the call longer. Okay. B, they're going to start getting nervous. And then you have a better chance of actually not booking the appointment, the more you start getting in the weeds. Okay. You got the lead. You're the underwriter assigned to them. You're bringing the information out to them. What time do you get off work? It's kind of that simple. Mine's like a 2.5 minute phone call. If they pick up the phone, it's inside of 2.5 minutes. I'm off the phone. Got an appointment, got it booked, going to the next one. Okay. So that's key. I think when you're listening to people dialing and trying to figure out who you like the most. Hope that helps.
Hey, Gary, I got a real quick question.
Yeah.
When you're starting a new person, and there's a lot of new people on here, and I understand that if they have no money, we get them in the CRM. We're doing 1 month, 3-month-old leads. But if they have some money, if they have some money saved up for leads, a couple $1,000, $2,000, where are you steering them? Or are you still starting them with the CRM leads? What do you personally do with your new people? Like that guy that was in your office.
Yeah. So the guy was in our office. He had some instant internet leads. and he had a lot of new internet life leads, which are like the 1 month, 2 month, right? In those, because and even the ones that have a lot of money, because you can get a lot of those leads, right? And because even if you have a lot of money to start out with, you still want to get them with a lot of leads, because you know as well as I do, they're going to screw up a lot of them, and you'd rather them have a pile to go through and be able to learn and coach and understand, okay, I don't need to say that again. Or, man, every time I say that word, they hang up. I mean, the last 10 people that I said that word to, they hung up. So I need to stop saying that word. So give them enough where they can actually learn and get better. But at the same time, you know, it not just break the bank. I like the new internet life leads myself. The 1 month old new internet life leads, I like those. And I actually like, Neil, one of the things that you say is, you know, hey, you probably don't remember filling this out, but a while back, you know,
that works.
We got a form that the form that you filled out online. And I was teaching that to Dean today, exact same thing. The other thing I do with the old leads is I tell them, I kind of go, I've learned, because I used to try to convince myself that these people are going to remember that they filled this out, right? And so I would start it out that way. I'm like, hey, I'm just getting back to you, letting you know we did get the form that you filled out online. And right there, they'd stop me, right? I didn't fill out anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Take me off the list. They'd say everything. And it just happened over and over and over and over. So finally, I said, you know what? I'm just bypassing that altogether. And I started just calling them and telling them who I was and letting them know, hey, Neil, I'm just letting you know that evidently you did qualify for the new state regulated final expense program. And I'm just trying to make sure I got the right Neil Brown. Is your birthday this? Yes. Is your address this? Yes. So they heard me say that they qualified for something, and I'm dropping it off. They say, yes, 2 o'clock works good. But whatever it is, they want it, right? And so I'm just trying to get the appointment, get in front of them, let them open the door and see me so I can get to their kitchen table. And then I'll fight the fires at the kitchen table. I don't want to fight a fire on the phone, because we can most of the time we can overcome the fire at the kitchen table once they've met you and they realize you're not a threat, you're not a serial killer, and you're okay, you're okay guy. Then we're going to talk. So that's all I'm trying to get to there, and that works a lot too. Hope that helps. I know I rambled a little bit there.
Yeah, and then how many leads you try and start somebody with? You try and get them 100 leads, and I mean, how many should they have?
Yeah. So I'm thinking if you're going to do those like 1 month leads, I think 100 leads is a good number. I think 60 would be the minimum.
Okay.
So between 60 and 100 first dial session, you know, with the goal of them, I'm going to say a realistic goal of trying to book 10 appointments over the next 2 days. I think anything over that's gravy. You know, now Dean did 12. He did 12 the first day, which is phenomenal, I think, for never dialing a lead before. Now he burned through a bunch of them now. He had to figure it out. And then he booked 12. He kind of got in this little rhythm, and he booked 12 appointments. So, 10 to 12 being the goal in your first dial session, that would be ideal. That'll give them the better chance.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Are these the type of questions you get on that Monday night call? Because
yes.
Okay. So I'm
100%.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this? It's past 10 o'clock East Coast time. So that was excellent, Gary. I appreciate you. This was really short notice, right? And
yeah, but that's great. Anytime.
It was excellent. So I appreciate you jumping on. Guys, everybody that's on here, let's have a great week. The weekend is the best time to run. If you have questions about things that aren't happening for you, give us a call. We'll help you. We'll coach you, but we can't coach you if you don't reach out. Okay.
Neil, I have a question.
Hey, Neil.
And it'll be short. Y'all mentioned the CRM. Y'all mentioned the CRM for leads. Can you touch just a tiny bit on that before we go?
Yeah.
What is that?
Ronnie, tell me where you are in the pipeline. Are you in class, or where are you?
I'm fixing to take the test.
Fixing to take the test. Okay. So when you get licensed, when you get your license, you're going to get CRM access. The CRM is your customer relations management tool. All right.
Okay.
For lack of a better term, it's where your leads are going to live. It's where your leads are going to be bought. It's where you can see the United States and you can see what areas in your state have leads versus what don't have leads, that type of stuff. It'll be like a heat map. And you'll go, okay, let me pick my county. Let me pick 2 counties over. There's a lot of leads there. And you'll buy them there. When you buy them, they're going to drop right into your CRM where you can see them and you can print them out right there.
Okay. Great. Can't wait to get the ball going here.
Well, listen, you'll love it. It's a great tool. Jerry, I know you had your hand up and you just went full time. So why don't you ask the last question here, Jerry, and then we'll wrap it up. But I got to be able to see your face or you can't ask a question. Jerry.
You scare him away, Neil?
I don't know where he went, but apparently, but his hand's up. I can see his little, you can raise your hand on this thing. That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Go ahead.
There
you are.
Okay. I just had.
We just can't see Jerry.
Well, yeah, I had one question about the Americo not being able to do electronic signature.
Oh yeah, that.
Hey, Jerry,
we gotta say a word or two about that.
We got to see your face if you're going to ask a question.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay. MJ,
Get you there.
MJ, can you unmute yourself and just address that situation with Americo?
Okay. So Americo, what we have to do is in writing Americo, when you're with the person, you have to click email signing. They updated their system and their, Equius, whatever that third party signature thing is when you're with them does not work. So what Americo said today is that when we're writing a policy, even though we're with them, do not click tablet signing, click email signing. It will email them. They can pick up their phone, get on their computer, do a DocuSign, which is a different system. And then you get the signature back. You'll do that for the MIB and then for the final signing. Don't click tablet signing until they get it fixed.
Yeah, and MJ, so they updated their system Saturday night and there's a problem, obviously. They're going to get it fixed. The other option, if you have cash flow, the reason we write Americo is that like Kendall, when you're just getting started or any of you guys are just getting started, Americo is the only company that will front the full, 75% of the annual paid premium within 2 days. And everybody else waits till a draft. So if you need like immediate cash flow, do that. But honestly, you can always pivot. We have other companies. We have Mutual Omaha. We have AmAm. We have John Hancock. And I know a guy just wrote a $5,500 or $5,400 policy the other night, and when he went to sign, it wouldn't work. And now, the question is, will he be able to get that done now that he left the home? So that could be a very expensive mistake. So you love the one you're with. You get it done while you're with them. Try not to leave anything to chance once you leave. So however you got to play that, if it's jumping over to Mutual or John Hancock, if you got to do that.
Well, just do the email signing. All you do is the email. Click email.
Yeah, but honey, some of these clients we work with are just, they're 75 or 80 and they don't even know what their email is. That's the only point.
Well, there's a way around that. Call me. I'll help you in the home.
MJ's got the secret sauce. Don't tell anyone.
MJ is the best. Y'all too.
You're so sweet.
I'm very thankful for y'all. I mean, wow. Thank
Mark,
you.
she's talked you off a couple ledges.
More than a couple, and I'm sure I'm going to have more.
Well, I tell you, with Leanne, we got a great team. Thank you. Yeah. We all work Gary, thank you so much. You're awesome. The training was awesome.
You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. We love you. Thank you,
sir. Thank you.
All right.
Have a great week.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
Good night.
Neil, MJ, take care now.
Okay, thanks,
Take care.
guys.
Okay, thanks, MJ. Take care now.
Okay, thanks,
Take care.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.